Good morning, everybody. Come on in. It is Mother's Day, and the sun is out. Let's get that joyful energy going here again this morning. Let's affirm it, stand up, start singing. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I live in the spirit of love. I live in the spirit of love. I live in the spirit of love, because love lives in me. I move in the spirit of love. I move in the spirit of love. I move in the spirit of love, because love moves in me. I reach out in the spirit of love. I reach out in the spirit of love. I reach out in the spirit of love, because love reaches out through me. We're healed in the spirit of love. I heal
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. Welcome to Unity of Wimberley. We gather here each Sunday by divine appointment to celebrate this human journey together and to reaffirm the divine that dwells in each of us. To those of you joining us on live stream, we welcome you and consider you part of our community today as though you were here with us. And now let us join in calling on this powerful resource together. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now let us unite our spirits as we hold this vision for our church. We are an open-hearted community, powerfully transforming our world by honoring the sacred in all. And we practice this mission. Inspired by our shared spiritual awakening, we offer practical teachings that empower healthy, abundant, and meaningful living. Now let us take a moment to welcome all those who are here for the very first time. If you would please raise your hand so we can meet you. Welcome. We encourage you to complete a blue card in the foyer that will get you a name tag and a subscription to the newsletter if you wish. After today's daily word reading, there will be a congregational song during which we all greet each other warmly. If you prefer a handshake, please just extend your hand. And now, the daily word with Peggy Cole.
Good morning. The daily word for today, Mother's Day, is motherly love. I give thanks for the motherly love of God in all its human expressions. Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore has been called the mother of Unity. Myrtle wrote, "It is my great joy to perceive somewhat of the mother side of God, the divine love that never fails." In prayer, I bless all who have played a motherly role in my life, not just the mother whose love gave me birth. I bless everyone, male or female, who has shared with me the divine love that never fails. Everyone who has nurtured me, who has encouraged me by believing in my potential for good, has blessed me with the motherly love of God. Just as I have received, I give love in return, sharing comfort and understanding. I am grateful to be an expression of motherly love. And from Isaiah 66:13, as a mother comforts her child, so I will comfort you. You shall be comforted in Jerusalem.
All right. Let's stand up and do a little more singing. The strength of love. I am born from the strength of love. All that I am today, all that I bring today, I know that it's enough. I am born from the strength of love. Prayer, may I be lifted up. I So turn to your neighbor and give them a blessing.
Kit Holmes and Jeff Stockey and Musami Jones. At this time, we ask you to please turn off your cell phones. This will not only make for a peaceful service, it will improve the live stream quality. Okay. This morning, we'd like to lovingly acknowledge all the mothers that are with us this morning. Thank you for all you do every day to create a beautiful world through the children you nourish. Sometimes Mother's Day is not all happiness, so we want to send love and gratitude to all those precious spirits that guided and loved us while they were here on earth. Thank you, Mom. 2019 pool season is here. Pool memberships can be purchased beginning today. Please check with Leah and Taylor in the front lobby after the service. May Wednesday night series from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Class number 1 of 5 Steps to Freedom, an Introduction to Spiritual Mind Treatment by John Waterhouse is this week. Spiritual mind treatment is a 5-step mental and spiritual thought process that redirects harmful thinking patterns and will be facilitated by Kit Holmes. Joe Vitale donated DVDs called Becoming the Key, and they're free with a purchase in the bookstore while supplies last. Wise Women Brunch will be Saturday, May 25th from 10 a.m. to noon. Bring a dish and join these wise and wonderful women for food and great conversation. Please see Karen Stockey with any questions. June 7th Supper Club will celebrate with the food of Morocco with Eid al-Kabar and more. Betty?
Good morning. Yes, we are following the tradition of Islam. After the 30 days of Ramadan, which is a period of fasting and prayer, it's followed by Eid al-Kabir, which is a 2-day feast. We're going to cut ours short and make it just one Friday night. Tickets are $35 a piece, and you might want to scurry to get yours because I have sold 11 of the 24 already. So I have tickets with me if you want some after church.
What's happening in July?
In July, Mike is treating us to a Polynesian meal, so be prepared for news on that.
Okay. And now the gathering prayer with John Govain.
Good morning. Would you please join me in our gathering prayer today, and let's unify ourselves together with 2 deep breaths. God is all there is. God is love, and love is the motivating power of the whole entire universe. God is in everything. God is in everyone. And today, we especially recognize and honor the sacred in mothers and those who serve the role of nurturing mothers. Have you ever nurtured a sad, perhaps lonely, sick or lost child? A beloved pet? A stray or injured critter? A garden, a sapling, Mother Earth, even an idea? Then you have had the honor of sacred mothering, as mothering comes from the divine feminine in all, and each of us has this quality within. Realizing that love is the great motivating power of life, and knowing that God must be at the center of everything, today I am meeting this divine feminine in everyone and seeing the manifestation of nurturance for all as we give to others and open ourselves to receive this divine love. Continually opening to the sacred takes practice. Practice in opening, practice in listening, practice in waiting, and practice in obeying our inner direction, our divine wisdom. It also means celebrating and expressing our gratitude. My gratitude is great for this day of honoring the great mother of divine love through the divine feminine. I embrace the nature of her loving wisdom. Through the intimate and infinite source of all life, I release these words into the flow of the eternal law of good, that which says yes to my thoughts wrapped in my beliefs. Knowing it is already so, I say, and so it is.
It's in your eyes, the questions of the ages. There are challenges and changes in everything you see. It's hard to trust, and sometimes the best of us can lose our way. That's why I'm here to say, gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's all right, and I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. It's in your hands. There are angels in the answers. Choose your second chances. This is where you're meant to be. Don't second guess. Life will give you all the happiness that you deserve. Rest assured, I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's all right, and I'll remind you, as you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. I'm gonna ask you to remember that you have everything you need. Every time you look into a mirror, 'cause no matter where life finds you, the light of love surrounds you. You'll always have the only words you'll ever need to hear. I'm gonna hold you in the light, hold you in the light, hold you till you know again that everything's all right, and I'll remind you, As you are enough. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. Hold you in the light. Hold you till you know again that everything's alright. And I'll remind you, as you are enough. Gonna hold you in the light of love. I'm gonna hold you in the light of love. It's a funny thing, I just stood up and I do this a lot and my knees just started to shake. And normally you see me not at the podium. And today I decided to do it a little bit differently because for one reason it's Mother's Day. And when I was preparing this talk, it wasn't until this morning, about a half an hour before I left to come to church, I realized that what I'm doing, didn't realize I was doing this consciously. I never had the opportunity to speak any of this about my mom at her memorial service or throughout the process of her death, other than the conversations that I'd had with her when she was still conscious. And I know she could hear me, but when she could respond. So at the beginning of this year, Reverend Jill and I and Leah sat down and pretty much kind of mapped out or put a framework around this entire year for what we were going to talk about, what the themes of the month were going to be, the classes we were going to teach, all of those things that when the Sundays, when either Jill was going to speak or I was going to speak, or if we were going to have guests. And one of the things, the interesting thing was we were a little confused, all of us, maybe it was just me, about the date for Mother's Day. And we flipped and flopped around having Joe Vitale here, and it was, we can't do it because it's Mother's Day, and I thought, I'm free and clear, I don't have to speak on Mother's Day. No. God had other plans, as God always does. So, I wrote it thankfully in big enough print that I don't think I need my glasses, but I'm going to grab them anyway. So long story short, here I am. It is Mother's Day, and I am your speaker du jour. Thank you. So, as many of you know, my mother passed not quite 2 years ago, and as many of you I know have already experienced the loss of a mother and understand that of any of the losses you might experience, this is one that is deeply primal, deeply ancestral. It's not just us with our mom. It goes back to the beginning of time. It's a different kind of grief. It's a different place to be. And curiously, but not surprisingly, as God does, the last 2 weekends I've been in Lakewood, Colorado at ministerial school in an intensive, and I use that word purposefully, an intensive class in pastoral care in ministerial school. We dealt with a lot of grief. We worked through a lot of the grief process, and as you can well imagine, a lot of the people in the class, everybody had some mom stuff, whether she was still living or not. And as you hear, we've heard it said, if it's not one thing, it's your mother. So, So one of the reasons, of course, that I'm doing this, I have my notes in front of me, safely in front of me, because there are a lot of things that I wanted to speak to today that I made sure that I didn't forget In the emotion or in the getting caught up, sometimes I can go off track and go down another rabbit hole. Didn't want to do that. I really wanted to gather and share what I'm sharing with you today. I chose that song, Hold You in the Light, to precede this talk specifically for one purpose, to emphasize the gratitude and the honor I feel for each woman in my life, not only as mother figures, no matter how brief the moment of influence may have been, but as women of strength, tenacity, courage, and at their very hearts, women with an inherently infinite capacity to love. In this day and age, we know that the definition of what a mother is as vast as the number of women who hold the title. We have moved way beyond anything resembling tradition. To me, the word mother applies to any woman who, no matter what her past or her upbringing, good, bad, or indifferent, has expressed compassion, strength, wisdom, ingenuity, resourcefulness, generosity, courage, tenacity, joy, and equanimity to any child, whether they are a biological children or not, and whether those children are younger than her or not. Think about that for a moment. We're all children, right? To each of them, I hold each of them in the light of love. To all the women who have become or have been mothers to an aging parent or parents, bless you for doing your best to balance the anticipatory grief of knowing what's coming and balancing it with the day-to-day heavy lifting of parenting your parents. To all the women who have had to be a mother to themselves and sometimes their siblings when one or both parents were tangled in the throes of addiction, abuse, incarceration, or left through divorce or early death. Bless you. To all the mothers who wholeheartedly and unconditionally accepted your sons or daughters when they came out as gay or lesbian or had journeyed through years of questioning, self-awareness, and acceptance to live as transgendered. I hold all of you dearly, dearly in the light of love. Mothers, grandmothers, aunts, sisters, and any woman, I thank you for teaching girls and young women that true beauty comes from knowing self-worth and not the perfect shade of lipstick or the right brand of shampoo. And for teaching boys and young men that there is no shame in crying and that real power and strength lies not in the physical realm, but in emotional honesty and spiritual maturity. To all the women who have honored the fact that fashion trends will come and go and be recirculated, thank you. Thank you for letting our youngsters know it is totally okay for them to fly their freak flag in their senior picture, knowing full well it will come back around to haunt them when they are in middle age. I, for one, thought I was pretty hot because I had a perm in my senior picture. I did not bring the picture. For good reason. For all the women who have taught both young girls and boys what healthy boundaries look like and demonstrating strong values like honesty, integrity, respect, compassion, and selfless service, while allowing them to learn from their mistakes and not quit at the first sign that things might not be going the way they preferred. Thank you for demonstrating that it is in the listening to others, and especially to Spirit, that we learn to find our own voices. And that as it has been wisely said, is better to keep silent and thought a fool than to open your mouth and prove it. Here, then, is my love letter to some of the women who influenced me while I was growing up. Dear Miss Thelma, thank you for demonstrating that no work done well is less honorable or valuable than any other. There was a powerfully quiet strength and dignity about you. I loved saying things that made you laugh because when you smiled, I could see that one gold tooth you had in the front that had a cutout of a star. You had children of your own that I would never meet. I wonder now who was taking care of them while you were here or there, ironing my father's shirts and watching over me while I did my elementary school homework, while my mother was teaching school and attending PTA meetings. I wonder now what you were thinking and feeling not being with your kids after school, working for my middle-class white parents while the race riots of 1960s Detroit escalated just a few miles away from us. Dear Mrs. L., thank you for being that neighborhood mom and having that one home where all the kids, including your 5, love to play. For all the summer afternoons we spent in your backyard playing pickup baseball games or tag or some other activity, there always seemed to be an ice-cold pitcher of Kool-Aid for us. Everyone, young and old, always seemed welcome at your house. The days you made homemade cinnamon bread were heavenly. Maybe it was because you were a full-time nurse, or maybe you were a nurse because of an inherent desire to be of service. Either way, you were the best. Dear Sister Jackie of St. Robert's Parish, thank you for your authentic and infectiously beaming smile and for showing me that nuns could actually be really fun and cool. Your love of baseball was contagious, and when I found out you were in a softball league with a whole bunch of other nuns, wow. Throughout that one term of catechism classes that I think were supposed to count as sex ed, and the only such formal education I ever received on the subject, you were kind, patient, and non-judgmental. The day that I courageously and earnestly asked in front of the whole class, how do I get a boyfriend when I just don't feel anything for boys? You just smiled kindly. And while the other girls in the class laughed, you answered, probably with way more understanding than anyone I'd met to that point. You said to me, be patient. You'll find someone to fall in love with soon enough. In hindsight, I recall you didn't say it would be with a boy. Dear Ms. L., thank you for holding my hand throughout the memorial service for my friend Scott when I was 16 years old. I didn't understand then why my mom wasn't sitting next to me as I went through my first real experience of tragic and personal loss. I did learn later on that in her own grief and fear of being a mother who could lose a child to a car wreck, that was the only way she knew how to protect her own heart. I thank you deeply for being what I needed that day. Dear Mrs. D., thank you for the high school graduation gift of Khalil Gibran's The Prophet and Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. Thank you for seeing me as the spiritual seeker I was long before I was ever aware that there was another path to God besides the one of my family's faith tradition. Dear Ms. T., I will be forever grateful for you showing me what truly unconditional mother love looks like. As a long-time self-employed single mother who happened to be a lesbian, you fiercely held to doing everything that needed to be done to give your child a loving, stable home. I have unspeakable admiration for the work you did to raise such an amazing, respectful, loving, free-spirited, and responsible young adult, in spite of and mostly because of the long history you had with abuse, dysfunction, and neglect in your own family. To my dear wife, Cynthia, I know that given the opportunity, you would be mother to every shelter, dog, and cat within a 100-mile radius and then some. Though you never had children of your own, you engage with every little one you meet with enthusiasm and joy. It is a testament to your deeply loving heart that you attract so many loving beings into your life. Thank you for loving me and all of our pets. And before I close today, I want to share with you a poem from a longtime friend of mine that I met when I lived in Athens, Georgia. She is a published poet. She has a couple of books out, and also a very gifted musician. We used to play music together quite a bit. Awesome saxophone player. And this was another God thing, that yesterday as I was putting the rest of this together, I happened to go on Facebook, and she had just literally about 10 minutes before posted this poem. It's called On the Day Before Mother's Day. To the child-free and childless, to the unmothered and the poorly mothered, to the birth mother and the surrogate mother, to the miscarriage survivor and the woman exercising her choice, to the ones grieving lost mothers. Take care of yourself. Commercial holidays around family roles don't include the complexity of real human stories. It's Michelle Castleberry. You can look her up. Thank you, Michelle, for giving me permission to share that. And as I said earlier, the definition of motherhood, we know, is pretty complex. And what I know and what I affirm is that the things we teach here at this center, no matter good or bad or what it looks like or what the relationship in the past or what it might be right now, that at the heart of everything, the only thing happening in any moment is love. Messy, imperfect, perfectly imperfect love. Each person we call or have called mother is doing the best that she can with what she has from where she is right now. I am so grateful for your prayer, Jan, the daily word, all of this. We all have this space. And so I finish with this. And I'm going to take a deep breath and a sip of water. Dear Mom, it's been 1 year, 8 months, 4 days, 10 hours, and 20 minutes since you released your earthly body from its human adventure. I have to say again how grateful I am for that day 6 years before you died, when you found your way to showing me your real heart, the real truth of you, by speaking the words of a wounded child, a fearful, lifelong perfectionist, and at then age 76, a still uncertain mother. I'm grateful that you spoke the words of the love and respect that you have and had for me, authentically, honestly, and as unguarded as I'd ever seen you. Still very much in control, but unguarded nonetheless. I was so very much at peace with where we'd come to in our relationship, how we'd come to love one another in those last 6 years. And I'm grateful that in the end, through the mental haze of your dementia, that part of your brain, the one most connected to your heart, repeatedly told me how proud of me you were and how much you loved me. I never got tired of hearing it, no matter how many times you forgot you said it. All the things you taught me, whether by default or by design, I know you were doing the best you could with what you had, with the level of awareness you had at the time. As you well know, you've been coming into my dreams to have full-blown conversations about all manner of things lately. As clear as day, just sitting there unguarded with a comfortable ease, like it's something we'd done all along. But we didn't, and I'm not complaining. Lately, there have been times when I've looked down when I'm playing the piano or working on my computer and have seen somehow that your hands have taken over at the end of my wrists. They've replaced my hands. Her fingers were longer than mine, but sometimes they really look like hers. It's disconcerting at the same time comforting. If you're somehow having a vicarious rock star experience through me, then so be it. I know it's only because you love music and me so much. You are forever present, Mom. Thank you. And I love you. Let's have some meditation. So let's just breathe. Let's take a really big, deep breath. Yeah. And letting out that love. Letting go of any tension or any feelings. And knowing that at the heart, it is all love. It just gets a little tangled inside sometimes, and we don't know how to let it out. So we breathe. And as we're letting that air out, that breath out into the world as love, we take in the next breath as love. And with the image of that person or persons that you have called mom or mother or mama, whatever nickname or name of affection that you have spoken into the universe. Just visualize her heart or their hearts. And visualize yours. Just greeting each other so warmly. Embracing each other so warmly. Let that love just bubble up as this beautiful, swirling, glowing light emanating, radiating from that joined heart space. Recognize that love, that energy, that light is that power of the divine feminine. And that power is always, always, always present and available. And that's the important thing to remember. It is available. It is available. It is as near as that next breath to bring it to mind, consciously to mind that it is present, available, and there for us. Doesn't that feel wonderful? so wonderful to know that no matter what is going on, any particular moment of any day, and anything that may have come before, there is only love. There is only love. So join me in that, will you? In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. There is only love. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you very much for that. This is the time in our service where we have the opportunity to circulate that love, to give back to that which spiritually feeds us, which brings us joy, or comfort, or maybe makes us think. As part of our prosperity consciousness, we give where we are spiritually nourished. We are grateful for these gifts and know that Spirit is working through these gifts to support all that is needed for this community and beyond. For those of you viewing online, there is always a donate button. We appreciate everything that comes in. we circulate what comes in back out into the community of the greater world. We are a tithing church. So know that it just doesn't stay within these walls. It goes beyond. So let's take a moment with your gifts, whether you give monthly or you give online, whatever it is. Just imagine that gift in your hands and bring it up to your heart space. Imbue it with that love. Fill it with that light. And as the ushers come forward, wherever they may be, let's hold these gifts in our hearts. And together offer this affirmation of abundance. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our children will do what we do, not as we say. Gotta give them a good foundation and let them build on it in their own way. Gotta reach out and listen and love. Let them know they're gonna make it, even though it might get tough. Mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, it goes on. See the best in them as they're questioning. It goes on and on and on. Our parents might judge what we do as we make our own way. We gotta give them all forgiveness. They're doing the best they can every day. Gotta reach out and listen and love. They got so much to teach us. Let that be enough. Mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, it goes on. See the best in them as they're questioning. It goes on and on and on. The silver thread, book of life, choose whatever metaphor you like. This crazy old planet keeps spinning round the sun. It goes on. Mothers and daughters, fathers and sons, it goes on. See the best in them as they're questioning. It goes on and on and on. On and on and on. It goes on and on and on. It goes on and on. And on and on and on and on. Thank you so much. Thank you. All righty. Thank you all so much. With full hearts, let us bless these gifts. Together, we bless these gifts and the givers with our love and gratitude. Thank you so much to our ushers. Thank you all. Give the thanks to our volunteers today. that you're here every Sunday. The guys in the back, everybody that puts this, that allows this to happen so that you can just show up on Sunday morning and sit and be blessed. Thank you. Thank you. As we move to the end of the service, time to remind you, if you need to pick anything up for Mom today, if you have not gotten a gift, if you're getting ready to go to lunch, check out the bookstore. There's some great gift ideas there. The Wednesday night class begins this week. It looks like we might get a little more rain, but I think we're going to be able to get across the bridge this week. And I encourage you, if you're not familiar, you may be, if you've been coming here for a while, you may be familiar with what we call spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer. It is a great little book. There are some, it's 5 Steps to Freedom by Reverend Dr. John Waterhouse. I'll be facilitating that class. And the reason that we are not doing this class online is that there's going to be a lot of interaction, participation. In other words, we're going to be praying a lot. So if you want to get prayed up and you want to pray some other people up, come to this class. It will only be 4 weeks. It was originally going to be 5, but we can condense this into 4 weeks. We will go into the first week in June because we don't have any other classes scheduled for June. Please come 6 o'clock Wednesday evening to 7:30. I'm really looking forward to leading this. The Feed My People donations are collected in the front foyer. We've had some people that are bringing stuff in the kitchen and putting it on the shelves in the pantry. Please bring it to the baskets in the front so it can be sorted about what's going to be taken to Crisis Bread Basket. Let our folks that are handling that separate and sort and categorize and all those good things. And thank you for those donations. This is an ongoing, never-ending project. As long as we have hungry people, we're going to keep feeding as much as we can. Pool memberships. See Leah in the foyer afterwards. If you already have memberships from last year, this is your opportunity to renew. You will get a new key, sign the new waivers, and et cetera, et cetera. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for honoring the women in your lives. Thank you for honoring whatever Mom means to you. As always, we have blue prayer requests in the back. We have our gratitude jar. Please use the gratitude jar. We love to celebrate and hear when those things that you have been visioning and manifesting have shown up. The good things that you want to vision and manifest for. Please, we love to hear from, and if knowing that we're, your name will never be used, we do put them in the newsletter that comes out every couple of weeks. And if you don't want it shared publicly, just put that on the yellow slip, but please put them in the jar anyway because we like to celebrate with you. Prayer chaplain Jan Govain went somewhere. She'll be up in the corner to pray with you after the service. Please do not leave with a heavy heart. And now let us take a moment to bless the children that are coming in. Here we go. You ready? Okay. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. You are a light, you are a light, you are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. And they keep coming. Here we go. You are a light. You are a light in this world. You are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, you shine so bright. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. I bet every one of these kids has a mom. Let's bless them together. Children and youth of unity, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you just the way you are. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God, the divine feminine, watches over us today. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, because I am. I release, I let go, I let Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I boldly live for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I boldly live for God. I release, I let go, I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. I am only here for God. I release, I let go, I let Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. I am only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. I am only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Have a great week, everybody.